Welcome to your 8th grade exploratory. This is the introduction to Chief Architect. One of the first things we do in this class is learn how to use this program. So the first thing we're going to do is open the program, and it's the green square with the ×5. It's Chief Architect. So go ahead and have you open it. Sometimes it takes a minute for it to load. And what I'm going to show you first is how to open up a brand new blank spreadsheet here, okay, or drawing area. Do you want to associate plan, layout, and library files with this program? Go ahead and click no. And if you get this error dialog box, what this means is it simply we need to reload the bonus catalogs. For now, just hit OK. And you're going to have to hit it several times. So you can notice I'm clicking several times here. That's not a problem at all. Okay, and for right now, go ahead and click on New Plan. We'll go full screen with that. And what you'll see here is a blank sheet. If I zoom in, you can see the squares. Okay, each of these squares represents 1 square foot. So from here to here is a foot. From here to here is another foot, and so on. Okay, if you zoom way in, you can see the tiny little squares. Okay, now each of those little squares represents an inch. There's 12 inches in a foot. Okay, you can zoom in even further. If you ever zoom way out and you can't see anything, okay, it's like, Mr. Mertz, I don't see the squares. There's 2 reasons. Either you're too zoomed out, or if you go over here to the right, the grid is not displayed. Other buttons you're going to want to make sure you have pushed are this one, grid snaps here. I'll explain that more in a minute. This one also needs object snaps, needs to be pushed in, and angle snaps. Okay. I will come back and revisit those. Alright, let's go ahead and save this project before we get started any further. So I'm going to go up here to File and Save. Okay. And it'll ask me where I want it. Okay. Where I want you to save this is in your computer drive and your Z drive. Mine has my name. Yours will have your ID number. Okay. So I'll double click there, and you're going to want to create a Chief Architect folder of some kind. Okay, and the way you create a folder is right there. Create new folder, click that, and then title it Chief. So I will go ahead and do that now. And I will save it in that folder. And we're not going to call it Untitled 1. We're going to call this, and then your last name. So don't type Mertz, type your own last name. If it's Smith, type Smith, and so on. Okay, we're going to hit save, and that is in our Z drive. Okay. Alright, and then the next thing I want to show you is something a little bit about the toolbar up here. Okay, that's for a new plan. That's to open a plan, save, print. You won't use that one. Send a layout. Okay, again, that'll be down the road. I'll show you that one. Get the default settings right there. Probably won't have to use that much. Okay, there's some more on preferences. Default set. If your screen ever doesn't look like it should, if something looks goofy, make sure this is put back on default set. That's kind of the one we want. And then up here are some different configurations and toolbars. We won't do anything with terrain right now. That'll be later on for you advanced kids that really want to do more than just the house. And you can see when I click on it, it gives you different options. I'm going to click back on the house, and you can notice those are kind of this is more what we'll work with almost the entire time. This is the cabinetry one. We'll work with that more on the interiors. This is your electrical and plumbing one. We'll use that when we build your own house toward the end of this particular unit. Space planner. I haven't really used this one much, but it's a way of identifying rooms. Plan detailing configuration and CAD configuration. The one we're going to live in most of the time, 99.9% of the time, is default configuration. If your toolbar ever gets really messed up, go up here to Tools, go to Toolbars and Hotkeys, Customize Toolbars, Toolbar, and Reset Toolbars. Hit OK. Okay, and you'll notice it'll go back to this default set. So if it ever gets really goofed up, that's what you can try. If that doesn't work, come get me and I will help you. Okay, so far what you've learned is how to open the program, a little bit about some of the toolbars at the top, how to save, and now I'm going to show you how to build exterior walls. And the first thing we're going to do is build our straight exterior walls. Okay, and there's obviously the shortcut menu right here for walls is right there. Also, another menu you can always use is build, and this is everything that we can build house-wise. Okay, so wall, straight exterior wall. The shortcut key is Shift Q for you computer savvy people who like to use shortcuts. So the Shift plus the Q key will get you this tool. All right, now to build a wall, you simply click and drag, and what you'll notice is you'll get a set of temporary dimensions there, and that'll tell you how far your wall is. Okay, 24 feet 2 inches, 24, 25 exactly, and so on, and you just release. If you want to delete it, you can just highlight it like that, hit the delete key, and it goes away. If you don't have the angle snaps selected, watch what happens when I go to build this. See how jaggedy it is and crooked? That doesn't look good. Okay, that's because that angle snaps is not on. That builds the wall in 15-degree increments. Object snaps allows us to build onto a wall. So you see this red square here, the blue circle. When I click on that, it'll allow me to build onto that wall. So you have nice flush corners, and it doesn't disrupt the dimensions of this wall. That's called the object snaps. Okay, grid snaps, what that does is that snaps things into place in smooth increments. If you ever don't have that on, what that means is you have, see how it's like 8 feet 1 and 15/16 inch? That's not really great carpentry. No one really builds with those numbers. And so you're going to want to make sure that you have your grid snaps on. Lastly, if you build a wall and it doesn't have those temporary dimensions on, it's because that is not selected, the diagonal line with the T, display temporary dimensions. So you want to have that button selected as well. Okay. If the walls aren't ever colored, if they're ever black and white, click on the color on, color off toggle button, or F8 is a shortcut on the keyboard. Another really useful tool over here is you got zoom in, zoom out. Those are handy features. You can zoom in on specific portions of your house. These two buttons over here are the fill window with building only, fill with all your structures, so get used to using those two things. And then to navigate your house quickly with the hand, that's kind of a nice thing to know how to do. You can use that key as well. This is to jump floors really quickly. It's the F9 key. Once we have multiple floors, I can show you that one, and that'll be part of our tutorial as well. So your assignment for today will be this. Okay, so this is what we just got done. I just got done teaching you all of these things right here. Your assignment for today is to draw this floor of your house. One really important thing I want to highlight before we build anything else is to build your walls clockwise. Okay, meaning if this is 12 o'clock up here, start and go from right to left as you work your way around the clock. Okay, so let's build it. And another thing too is if you want to like split your screens, I click up here so you can have both windows open on your desktop. It's really nice. So let's start at the top here. We'll build 16 first. Make sure it's exactly 16. If I need to correct that, you can click on the wall. Just click right on it, and then you can make an adjustment to it. Notice when I clicked on that dimension, it came up with this box right here. This means it's going to move from left to right. This is going to move both ends, and it's going to move right to left. So anything on the left side will change, and I'll come back and address that in the next video. So let me build the rest of this house really quick. Just like this. Make sure your snaps are on. So I'm going to build an 8-foot wall. like that, 4 feet, that, feet 6, just like that. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Now I got to go in 2 feet. If you need to do detail work, just zoom in. Down a foot. And notice how, see that blue dotted line there? Those object snaps. It really makes it handy. Lines things up quickly. It kind of assumes the correct distance when you have things partially built. Now we need to go up 23.6. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There you have it. Your exterior walls are made. That looks exactly just like this. So you want your living square area to be 1,145 square feet. 1,145 square feet, exactly the same. The last little bit here would be, if you want to check the dimensions and get these up there, if you need to make any adjustments, would be go up here. You can either go to CAD, Auto Dimensions, Auto Exterior Dimensions, Shift A is the shortcut for that, or over here on your window, it's that button right there, and that comes up. If you want to get rid of those dimensions, you simply hit Control and the spacebar key at the same time. It brings up this Delete Objects menu button. Click All Floors, Manual, Auto Dimensions, hit Delete, click Done, and they're off. If we need to make any adjustments, here's a couple of good things to learn. Start by using the window, fill window tool. Those are these right here, remember? Okay, building only, fill window with everything. Building only makes it really handy. And then again, talks about putting on the dimensions. Oops. Shift A, pulls those on there. And then when you make your adjustments, you click on a specific wall and you click on the dimension and you can change it. Another thing you can do is you can click on a wall and then use your direction keys, your left, right, up, down keys to move walls. Notice when I click it to the left, it makes this wall, the wall right here, 4 feet 1 inch, and this one 5'11". So that's another way of adjusting walls. Okay. So that is the first part. We will do interior walls in the next video. Good luck, and let me know if you have questions.